Hello and welcome to r/Ask Reddit. Ex-inmates of Reddit, what was the stupidest thing you've seen a new inmate do in his first day in prison? One guy bragging about what he did to get himself in jail. Other dude showering barefoot. Great way to get convicted, great way to get jungle fungus. My first time in, I went to take a shower for the first time. I got undressed and was about to step in when like 6 people all started yelling at me, "Get some damn shoes on, dumbass white boy!" After that, I bought some shower shoes. Do you get little shower slippers or something? No, they teach you how to handstand to cut costs. Best butt wash of your life. Reach across someone's food. Is this a matter of courtesy, or do people assume you're gonna mess with their food if you reach over it? Courtesy and respect. It's way more serious than someone who's never been locked up would expect. Went out to eat with some friends. Reached across my friend's plate to grab the salt. My friend has done time. And he was like, "Heads up, you would not last in prison." Whoops. Well, now I know. Not wearing shower shoes in the shower. Gross. That's where everyone jacks off all over the floor, not to mention WE disease they've got. Not gonna lie, my first thought wasn't that, but foot fungus. Yeah, I went to jail once, and at first I thought it was strange that the inmates kept warning people to wear shoes in the shower or your feet will get pregnant. What a weird way to talk about Oh, they beat off there. There was an old myth that if you challenged the meanest guy in your block to a fight, everyone else would leave you alone. It's true. No one will torment you if you're dead. Kid tried it and got dropped off the 5th tier. First day in Gen Pop, last day in Gen Pop. Most guys just want to do their time alone. Most rape and violence in prison is about debt or tax. If you play it straight, 98% of the guys will just leave you alone. Messing someone up on the yard makes your time worse, not better. Loss of privilege, of time in solitary. Most people don't want that. Most of the straight up psychopaths are in 23-1 lockdown anyway. You get in debt or shoot your mouth off, you'll get settled or taxed. Both are to be avoided. Kid gets booked in, hits the unit and starts borrowing food and other commissary items. Before he knew it, he was $200 in the hole. Problem is, in jail and prison, most people who are willing to loan items out expect 2 or 3 of the same item back. You know, interest. Very easy to get yourself in debt is by borrowing any food or other items. Never get in debt while incarcerated. Goofy looking kid, curly hair, thick glasses. He comes in and for some reason he befriends me. He starts telling me what he did. Sexual assault if a minor. I told him not to be telling this crap because it'll get him in trouble. The rest that day, and the next, I bailed out by then. I could hear him from across the hall telling other people. Not surprised if he's been kicked around a few times. A slight twist. We had a pink wet floor sign that we would put up in the entrance of the shower, so everyone knew there was someone in there jerking off. The fun game was to watch the new guys, myself included, innocently walk into the entrance of the showers for the first time, past the pink wet floor sign, and then see him come skittering back out a few moments later. Was there ever a time when the guy didn't walk out? It was a minimum security prison. We were all relatively harmless. I don't think there was ever more than strong irritation from the guy jerking in the shower. After all, it had likely been done to him when he was new. I thought he meant in like a gay way. Call his grandma and just cuss her out and talk to her like dog crap because she didn't want to put her house up for collateral to bail him out. Anybody do anything to teach him manners, or just mind their business? Nothing serious. He was shut out from having access to any of the goodies inmates were able to get. Baldwin County Jail in Alabama is quick to add charges and extend your stay to keep the head count up. The jail was all about barely meeting requirements and keeping as much money as possible coming in. They were so cheap that they put beans with almost every lunch and dinner, and on Saturday and Sunday, they didn't serve the usual 3 meals. You got brunch and an early dinner, and then a single peanut butter and jelly sandwich around 7 p.m. Yeah, because the sheriff in that county gets the difference of what's paid for inmates' food and what's allotted for food. I gotta find the article/video where I found it out. ETA 2, John Oliver episode from a month ago about sheriffs in general. There's one bit in it where an Alabama sheriff bought a summer home in Florida with his kickback. I did 14 years in federal prison for wire fraud. I got out last February. I'm 36. Some things I can say are these. While your sexuality may not be an issue outside of prison, inside prison, male inmates who are openly gay are generally disrespected. Gambling and drugs create debts that are at some point unable to pay and can result in serious issues for yourself. Most prisons operate a social hierarchy based on gang affiliations or hometowns, although there can be a large separation based on race. However, rapists and child molesters will basically be free game for anyone who wants to take their crap or torment them. You might have been a badass outside of prison, but generally, you can't fight several people at once, which was what will happen to you if you talk about how much of a badass you are. Keep your crap to yourself and don't talk crazy to people, which is seen as disrespect. Respect and disrespect has a different meaning in prison, and you'll figure it out. Best to just keep to yourself unless as much as possible, unless you want to embrace prison life and become institutionalized. Prison is not a place to make friends. Tell literally everyone how he was going to escape and showed off all the tools he was using. Was he stopped by the other inmates or the guards? There was a mole, a snitch. Within hours of him trying to saw his way through the bars with the threads of his wristband of his underwear, we were searched and he was removed. In all fairness, he was awaiting trial looking at 50 plus years. 50 is a ton! What did he do? He ate cereal with water. Father-in-law did 12 years on a second-degree murder rap back in the very early 90s. He told me that one time, this new guy plopped himself down at the Hell's Angels table and started eating breakfast. When he was told to move, he ignored them. After breakfast, the COs ended up having to cut through about 6 rolls of duct tape to get the guy loose. He never sat near Hell's Angels again. Cut through about 6 rolls of duct tape to get the guy loose. For some reason, I didn't expect the Hell's Angels to respond like Jock Bros. Well, it was Canadian maximum security. I'm Canadian. I took police foundations in college and had the opportunity to visit a prison and walk around the mid and minimum security prisons. Trailer Park Boys is not that far off from the truth. Crap looked like a party. Medium security, guards would joke that so much weed got smoked there that they got a constant high. And it's so prevalent that they try to stop you from getting in, but once it's in, it's free game. Some dude walked by our group and I noticed him pocket a Gatorade bottle of brown liquid, which I'm assuming was homemade alcohol. Another dude was absolutely roided the flip out, grilling us and flexing at us in his cell. Minimum security was where they put the almost retired COs, who weren't physically fit for the higher security levels. Literally like Trailer Park Boys, cracking jokes with the guards. Guards looked the other way for small crap like weed, and inmates mostly seemed extremely respectful and just happy to be there in minimum. That was surprisingly merciful. Welcome to the Canadian prison system. Brutal in some ways, exceedingly odd in others. Guy came in, got on the top bunk, within 10 minutes, dude rolled off and smacked his head on the concrete. Started to have a seizure. Guards came in and just videotaped him for a while in the middle of the room. Eventually they walked him out. When he stopped, and then he ran into the wall and fell down to start the seizure again. They just kept filming. Nobody really thought he was having a seizure, but he hit his head pretty bad, so they took him into the infirmary. No shower for weeks. He got his clothes ripped up and was thrown half naked into the shower. They also tuned him up pretty good. Did anyone know why he refused to shower? Like, was he just gross, or was he afraid the soap would be dropping? Obviously not related to this guy, but I bunked next to a woman who refused to shower because she was pregnant. She was trying to become as unhealthy as possible in hopes that it would spur a miscarriage. She would also jump off the top bunks onto her stomach. She didn't eat for the first few days, and she literally slept all day every day. I felt bad for her, but she was putting my own health in danger. I cut off 10 inches of my hair before going in to avoid getting lice, and I sure as hell wasn't going to let myself sleep next to someone who was going to attract bugs. If you have any sign of bugs, you go into isolation. I put in a request to move and made it very clear why. I told them that she was severely depressed and possibly suicidal. They let me move across the room to an open bunk, but nothing happened with her. She should have been in the medical bay, but they were too full. Probably fear of getting raped in the shower, or to make himself unattractive to rapey inmates. That man was probably watching the Boondock before he was locked up. I likes ya, I wants ya. I had a hunch that he had previous sexual encounters in his life that made him worried about being around naked men. They turned the shower on and told him to wash until he didn't stink up or block anymore. I had a group do this at my facility. Didn't beat the guy more than they needed to, but they dragged his stanky butt to the showers, turned on every faucet, and left him there until he washed himself. Rumor has it, the COs made sure not to be on patrol and busy with something during it. Where I was in prison, they utilized 40mm soft-grounded launchers to respond to group disturbances. Let me tell you, they weren't soft. Kid comes in thinking he's still hardcore from juvenile hall, because Garzer didn't do anything where people fought. Decides to up and join a gang that he knew nothing about on the first day. Thought he was tough, and started to diss the gang they had high tensions with at the time, and start a group disturbance. COs respond, tell him to get down, he refuses and curses them. Boom! 40mm to his face. Was an accidental shot to the face according to the CO. The face was distorted as hell after, fractured skull, on his first day. Those 40mm less lethal rounds are goddamn serious. If you give me a chance to get pepper sprayed or shot with one of those things, I'd pepper spray myself, every time. Edit. Change non to less lethal, because you can still die from getting shot in the wrong place. Excuse me sir, there seems to be a mistake. I'm supposed to be getting out of prison today? You're in the wrong line, dumbass. Using his superior intellect, he came up with the best escape plan he could possibly think of. When the skinny little street thug white kid walked across the yard and threw a mania at a bench full of full-blown Crips, didn't see him much after that crapstorm. Not in jail, but when I was living in LA, I was at a park and, no joke, some white kid did this as a joke to a group of black guys, and they beat the crap out of him. I was 10ish and noped the hell out of there back to my house. Thank you all